Well, friends, I am excited today because we're going to talk about a fun subject, marketing. I believe that as you start your CBD business, one of the most important things that you need to focus on is what you're going to do in the marketing side of your business. And there's nobody better to learn from than my son, our Chief Marketing Officer and our partner with Joy Organics. And so, Jared, I'm glad you're here today to talk about some fun things.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we sometimes laugh that we've got the two funnest jobs because marketing and sales are the two funnest parts of the company. And then, my poor brother, he has operations and there's not much fun happening over there. And of course, your mother, she's got a fun job too. So anyhow, Jared, let's talk about, basically marketing 101, the very basics of what people need to be thinking about, what they need to know as they're starting their CBD business. Many of these people are just getting started. Others have started and, now are looking for ideas on marketing. So, when you think about this topic, what comes to your mind? What's important?
Yeah, the first thing that comes to my mind, and I just read this the other day, is that marketing is all about finding the voice of your customer. And, in order to do that, you have to first understand who you're targeting. What ages are you targeting? What demographic? What are some of the interests that they have? Because so much of what we do in marketing today is targeting specific segments. We've moved well beyond just mass marketing where you throw up a billboard or a TV ad, you market to everybody. You can really dial in on a specific segment of people, and that's what you want to do first, is you want to really determine who do I want to market to. And then the second question that you have to ask yourself is, where are these people right now? How can I get in front of them? Is it a banner ad on a certain website that they visit? Is it an email blast? Is it, PPC or something else? But those are really the two core fundamental questions that I would, ask myself if I were starting a business today.
It's interesting. When we started, we were kind of a one-size-fits-all company. We weren't real clear on who we wanted to target because a lot of this data just wasn't available.
Yeah.
And now, as I look at the evolvement of the industry, I think it is even more important than ever to get real clear on what you're wanting to do, kind of what your specialty is going to be. I saw that we had a new customer came in today from the golf business, and I was thinking, somebody could just focus on, golf pro shops and that golf niche. And we've got, somebody, as that focuses on one segment of the sports market, and they're killing it in that area. And it is true, the people who are very clear on who they want to target, they can then begin to build all their messaging around that and make sure they're where these people are.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a mistake that most people make because they think, I have to go after everybody in order to have a successful business. But you're exactly right. I mean, our number one private label partner targets what I think is a very, very small segment of the market. And it just goes to show you, it's not about mass marketing to everybody. It's about finding that core voice for your core target market.
I think one of the companies in the industry that's done this really good is Foria. And they have definitely targeted the women. I mean, if you're a man, you're pretty much feeling like you're on the outside there. But they're doing great just targeting that women, that market. Do you have any thoughts on that? Because I know we both read their emails all the time.
It's so true, and it's funny, they just sent us an email the other day, and it was like, the subject line was so uncomfortable for a man. I was like, I'm not even going to open that because it's clearly, they have honed in on who they want to target. And that's what you want to do. We even talked to a chief marketing officer of a very fast-growing brand the other day, and he said, so much of marketing strategy is determining what you want to say no to, and that's exactly what they've done. Foria has said no to men, and in doing so, women feel like, you're talking to me, you understand me. So that's what they've done a really nice job of with that.
And so, put yourself in the position of somebody who's just starting a CBD business, or maybe they've started one and they've not gotten real clear on this. What advice would you give them on how they can kind of figure out what is their niche or what could their area of specialty be?
Yeah, I would start by really looking at yourself and saying, what skills do I bring to the market? And where are my interests? I had a conversation just a couple weeks ago with a gentleman who's becoming a private label partner, and this particular guy, had identified a very narrow segment that he wanted to target, and his background and his skill set was in sales and actually cold calling businesses. And I said, that's what you should do, because we were talking about SEO, we were talking about banners, we were talking about all these other things, and I'm like, tell me about yourself. Where are your skills? And he was telling me about that. I said, listen, if I were you, I'd get a website set up, and I would go after that small little market. You could literally make millions a year in this small little market, and just start cold calling these guys, start knocking on some doors. So I would look at, where your interests are. I would really narrow in on one specific market, and then I would say, where are my skill sets? That's what we did. My skill set was with SEO. That's where we started. That's what got the business off the ground, was really just honing in and focusing on where I felt like I was best in the world at. And I would encourage people to do the same.
And so if somebody says that, I'm really good in this one segment, I've got years of experience in this, or it's an area of great interest to me,
Yep.
What should they be thinking about in kind of putting together all their marketing materials and beginning to launch their business, or taking their business to the next level?
Yeah, well, I would start by thinking about marketing first. This is one of the common mistakes we see in just most businesses these days, is they think about marketing last, who they're going to market to, how they're going to market to them. And I would say it really needs to be the first thing. This is before your label, because ultimately your label should reflect the target market that you want to attract. So I would be thinking about all of these things first, and then after that, put together your label, put together your business plan, put together everything else, because it's all going to stem from the customer and who's going to buy from you.
Just thinking, sitting here, one of our top customers is another person who's just focused on the pharmacy market. So using this as an example, if I'm starting my business and for whatever it is, I've got some background in the pharmacy world or connections or influence, and I say, that's what I'm going after. And that's what he did. And he's built his whole website. Everything is talking to pharmacists. And so, that's an example of, hey, if I'm going to target a market, I got to build everything around it. I got to build all my imagery, my content, everything around that market I'm targeting.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Any thoughts that go through your mind, on that, so that,
Well, it kind of goes back to my agency days. So before this, I ran an agency, and I targeted primarily personal injury law firms. And that's a very, very narrow market. Most of the SEO companies, when I got started, were targeting everybody. And so the thing that makes that so attractive is that when a personal injury lawyer came to my website, I spoke to them. I said, I understand you, and I understand how to win in your market. And that's exactly what these guys are doing with the pharmacies, is they're speaking to the pharmacy or the pharmacy buyer. And when they read the content, they're so much more likely to buy and convert that prospect, because they understand the language that they're using.
I heard many years ago, and that is, if you have a headache, would you rather have a pain reliever or a pain reliever for headaches?
Right. Exactly.
And so, when people feel like you're talking to them, connecting to them, that you specialize in their market, they're going to be that much more attracted to you. And even on an SEO side, if let's just take the pharmacy market, or let's take your specialty in personal injury law, then all the keyword phrases, everything you were targeting were for personal injury attorneys.
Exactly. And when that particular company wants to do maybe a mass email outreach to pharmacies, they're going to look like the experts. And that's what you want to do. That's what you want to convey to your prospects, is we're the experts on this particular topic, so that when you communicate that to them, it resonates.
Well, obviously, this has been very insightful, and for those of you who are running your own business, I hope you've gotten some really good ideas, at least from a standpoint of getting clear on what's going to make you unique and different in the marketplace, what's going to separate you, who's your market. And I think, when we, just to kind of follow up, when we were meeting with this chief marketing officer the other day of this $400 million valued company, one of the things he also said is, go where your market is. And so, one of the analogies he used was Red Bull. And, Red Bull started, obviously as an energy drink, but then they were everywhere that their target market was, at the marathons, at the boat races, and everything else.
Exactly. Yeah, it's perfect. That's exactly what you want to do.
All right. Well, this is CBD Marketing 101 with Jared Smith. I hope you watch our other videos that we're going to record next on search engine optimization, on website design, and on label design. So thank you so much for watching.